Hey beloveds, I'm Tanya Melendez, spiritual advisor and astrologist, creator of Chart and Soul Astrology. Welcome to this week's Astro Alchemy. Let's dive in. We've got a big week. Like I've said, January is packed full of planetary movement. And why we're diving in a little bit at a time, because there's so many things going on. So let's dive into what's occurring right now, what you can do about it, what you might be feeling, and so many other things. So first of all, let's dive into the moon. First of all, today is the 21st day of the moon. So it's a day about us really tapping into the beginnings, and it's got an energy of the Chariot. If you think about the tarot card of the Chariot, you know, that energy of movement. Why? Because we have the moon squaring Mercury, and the moon is squaring Mars as well. So squaring the Mercury, we might get some glitches with, communication. That squaring with Mars is going to bring, this intensity to our emotional self and to our energy. And so these are going to be important to pay attention to, of course, until we shift into Moon Day 22, which is one of my favorite moon days. But also this week, we've got so much going on because remember too, we also just shifted into Aquarius. This is the energy of innovation, of inventiveness, again, of our individuality, but also of our humility and our humanity. So a lot around the collective energy. And then today also the moon is in Libra. It will be going void, of course, later on tonight. So this energy of balancing. So bringing all of this together, we are in for a day of really paying attention to how we feel, to the intensity of what's going on in the next couple of days, in the next 24 hours, the next 36 hours. So this is why, with Astro Alchemy, I try to break it down for you so you can understand astrology not from an up there place, but from an in here place. And so I want to ask you, do you know if you have a sun or a moon chart? Now, depending on where this is in your chart, and this is why you need an astrologist to support you in understanding and deciphering your birth chart, is because if you have a sun chart, this means that a lot of your energy comes in during the day. If you have a moon chart, a lot of your energy comes in then during the evening. And then of course it changes with relocation. And of course, I've shared with you in the past, one of my favorite and specialties that I'm really studying into my astrology studies is astrocartography, because it's been so impactful and important for me. And so not only with that sun and that moon, there's also, did you know that you have a monthly lunar return? And so when we start to pay attention, this is how we can empower ourselves using astrology, connecting to our emotional intelligence and our intuitive strength, and so this is why I'm so grateful and excited about sharing chart and soul astrology to support you. And so one of the first things that we talk about is really decoding astrology, because the influence and the impact of the planetary, conditions and how they impact us in our body. Because if we feel resistance, this is how we know, because we'll get these emotional shifts and you're like, where did that come from? I don't even know. Check the planets, right? Physically, this resistance feels like stuckness. It feels like you can't move. This is why cycles and seasons are so important, and why layers and layers of astrology. There are so many layers and layers of astrology. And so I'll be sharing another video about, in this, decoding astrology, and also I was sharing also with the breaking the behavior. So I'm going to share with you a twofer. So it'll be a really this breaking down, decoding of astrology, and bringing in that energy as well of the breaking the behavior with what I'm going to talk about. And it's going to be how Lilith changed my life, recognizing how the Lilith symbols. But before then, there's a couple things I want to make sure that I share with you. And one of them is mark your calendars for this Wednesday, the 22nd. I will be in a live conversation with my sister friend, Verona Spence of Ancestral Voices on YouTube at 2 p.m. Central Standard. So make sure you get on over there to my website at www.tarotlifecoach.com. Also check, of course, on my Instagram, Wild Women Who Woo, so you don't miss it. You want to make sure you set your alarm. It's going to be on YouTube, but you want to make sure you have all the links so you don't miss it, because we're going to be diving into the celestial alignments. I'm going to talk about the nodes, the eclipses, and all of that. And why am I talking about this now? Because we've got the Lunar New Year. And so I also wanted to let you know I'm doing a Lunar New Year event next Monday to get you ready for the Lunar New Year, which is on the 29th. I want you to be prepared. So you see here, even I'm wearing to get ready for the snake year, I've got my snake scarf. I've even got my snake ring. There's even a story with this. I can't wait to share with you about this ring. But we want to get you ready. We want you to get your gold. We want you to get your candles. We want you to get everything ready for that. So you join us for the Lunar New Year event. It is going to be next Monday, the 27th. So make sure you hit the link in bio so you don't miss it. And I'm really going to be talking about why it doesn't feel this week. I'll be sharing why it doesn't feel like New Year's and why now is not the time to be setting intentions and doing these things doing these things just like, today is a gray day. And when it's gray energy, we tend to really want to hibernate. When it's sunny, we want to get out and go. And so really starting to pay attention to our cycles and seasons. We're going to really dive into that in this conversation on Wednesday with my friend Verona at Ancestral Voices, as well as for the Lunar New Year. So you've got 2 ways to connect with me in the next 7 days to really learn how to harness and empower yourself with Astro Alchemy. And so I want to leave you with some of the energy around really looking at astrology from another perspective, and how I've come to see astrology for myself is truly, it's like holistic empowerment. And so I'll leave you with that. That is this week's Astro Alchemy. And of course, I want to ask you, of course, to, like my shirt says, less talk, more action. We're really going to start to feel that this week. Even this energy of sacred symbology is going to come through. So start to pay attention to the nuances. Aquarius is, again, that energy of the inventor and who's always putting things together, but is also thinking about the collective. So stay tuned for more. Make sure you follow me on Instagram at Wild Women Who Woo and join our community so you don't miss a thing. We've got our Lunar New Year event coming up next Monday, and of course my interview. All links in bio. And until next time, beloved, as above and so below. Ashe.